looks really cute in her Easter Sunday suit. She came into our world a week ago. Took the family by surprise. She's got mama's hair and daddy's eyes. The news was broadcast on the radio. It's funny how she came along just as spring arrived. She's already changing seasons without opening her eyes. On and on, life goes on, and people come and people go. Once in a while, a baby smile will melt your heart like sun melts snow. Hey Lydia, can't wait to watch you grow. And when it comes a time to start at school, don't let him take you for a fool. Read all you can and learn about the world. It's not such a bad old place, no matter what some people say. It can be your oyster if you let it go. I pray that you won't ever have to shed a single tear, and you will grow up strong and wise with every passing year. On and on, life goes on, and people come and people go. Once in a while, a baby smile will melt your heart like sun melts snow. Hey Lydia, can't wait to watch you grow. Lydia looks really cute in her Easter Sunday suit. She came into our world a week ago.
Oh, what a lovely song that is. That's, of course, I can't remember.
Eilidh Patterson.
Sorry. Wait, I think I'm
What's
getting
that
worse.
song about?
It's about a child being born into her family.
Oh, it's nice.
Should have listened to the words.
I was talking to Emma.
I know. It's Lydia. That's Eilidh Patterson, her new album, which is called This Is Now. That's a track from it called Lydia. I was at her album launch in the Black Box in Belfast last Thursday night, and hugely successful it was indeed. And you should go to things like that.
I was
Bring it out of yourself.
invited. I was invited.
I know, but you should go. You never go. And get the operation done. Get that golf club removed from your hand, and go out places, mingle, have a drink. Tinkle.
You were staying overnight in
Sparkle.
Belfast. You were staying overnight in Belfast. It suited you.
I know,
You
but you
didn't
could
have
stay
to
if-
drive from here to Belfast and then back again.
No, but you could stay if you
No,
wanted.
you
There's a
didn't
thing.
want to.
No, you could stay if you wanted. There's a thing in your pocket which you haven't investigated for a while. It's called a wallet. Within the wallet is access to money, whereby you can, stay over and pay.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Is that what you do?
That's what I do. Yes.
Yeah.
I stay in hotels and boarding houses.
Yes. And do you claim it back?
Of course I don't. Do you think I'm some kind of lech?
Yeah, well,
Do you
let's
think
go
I'm some
there.
kind of
Well, let's
parasite
go
on the
there.
BBC? Do you think I'm some kind of a man who lives off the licence fee? Is that what you think I am?
Yes.
Yeah, you're quite right. Anyway, she was complimented, I have to say, that night by the very talented but remarkably silent, I have to say, her producer from Nashville and a musician and a producer called Lee Holland. And see, when he was playing the guitar that night, you realise that, everybody here's got it wrong. When you go to a club or something here, and guys are playing guitars, you go, he just stood there.
Mm-hmm. Caressed.
All this lovely stuff came out. Yeah. And he didn't even bend his knee or nothing.
What did I watch on Friday night? I watched the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra.
That's the BFO.
It was great. I hadn't a clue what they were playing, but I just sat for an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever it was, and just enjoyed every note that was played.
That's a good sign.
It was fantastic.
That's a good sign. You're appreciating quality. Jonathan Sims said, "Did you hear Wendy yesterday talking about the wee girl on X Factor?" Wendy said, "Well, there's nothing like being unique." I'm glad she cleared that up. It reminded me of the Monty Python film when Brian says, "We're all individuals." And a wee man at the back says, "I'm not." Did you remember that part?
No.
We're all different. We're all individuals. We all have something unique. I'm not. Katrina Rowan wanted everybody to be equally unique, but she didn't last long. You see, opposition. She was faced with opposition from those who thought that some people were more equal than others, and that was misinterpreted. Remember, she wanted everybody to go to university. Mm-hmm. But that was, you can understand, and she said everybody is equal to everybody else, but they're actually not. But that can be solved. All you have to do is just send the smart people to university, what they used to do before.
I watched the presidential debate last night.
You've been very busy in the old box.
Yes. And then there was a wonderful programme on. I wondered, did you see it by any chance at 10:30 on BBC Four?
I missed that. What's his?
Mark Lawson. Mark Lawson, is it?
Talked to Rob Brydon.
Yes.
I recorded that because I am interested in Rob Brydon. Rob Brydon, of course, appearing in the Lyric Theatre at the moment with Kenneth Branagh and will be on until the 12th of November. And I toyed with the idea of actually asking Rob Brydon to come into the studio some Friday, and he might do that. And I could bring you down with me, and you could teach him how to do impersonations of people from Northern Ireland because nobody can do them properly. Would you fancy that?
Yes.
But I wonder, he might not come in.
He's a radio man.
He's a radio man.
Started his career off in radio.
Of course.
Yeah.
You could teach him to do Pat Jennings and Roy Walker because nobody can do Roy Walker right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he started off, basically, a big part of his act is impersonations.
Yeah.
Will you come down if I ask him?
You'll find it very interesting because he talked about the visit, or the trip.
Trip, with Steve Coogan.
Yeah, they talked about it. It was a very good programme.
I'm going to listen. I recorded that. I'm going to watch it maybe perhaps tonight when I get a spare moment. Yes. I'm so busy.
So I was very busy last night with the big hour-and-a-half long debate on RTE.
And then that movie on the Cruise of the Gods.
I didn't. What?
That's why Rob Brydon was on. Because after that, they showed a movie called Cruise of the Gods.
On 4?
Yeah.
Well, I was exhausted at that stage.
I have it on DVD.
I had too much TV.
I'll lend it to you.
Understand. Yeah.
Cruise of the Gods features Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan. And it's the beginning of their partnership, basically. And I think this will resonate with you. Mm-hmm. Rob Brydon goes on a cruise with all his fans.
Sounds good.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, I know that one. Is he a fallen star?
Yes, he's a fallen star. He was in a kind of a Star Trek movie, and him and Steve Coogan were in it together. And then it was cancelled, right? And then he didn't really fare very well after that. So he went down and down. But eventually, the fan club of this particular show, Russell Brand is in it. It's very funny, and it's very funny. I turned in Eric Bell there for a moment. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
It just automatically morphed into him. I was talking about it. It's a wonderful movie. Anyway, it's funny how you kind of morph in talking about impressions and you're talking away like that, and then suddenly you say a word that reminds you of a man and you turn into somebody else. Anyway, and then he went on, you see, but the only thing I didn't like about that movie was he meets Steve Coogan again under very unusual and unbelievable circumstances. I won't tell you about the movie, but Steve Coogan is now famous in Hollywood, and he's not. But he was on the cruise and everybody was annoying him. Does that ring a bell? Being on a cruise and everybody annoying you?
No one annoyed you because you never come out of your cabin.
Well, when I did come out, they annoyed me.
They did not.
What do we want? Uniqueness. When do we want it? At suitably convenient times for every unique individual. I'm just saying to you...
Did you read Rob Brydon's book?
I didn't. As a matter of fact, I didn't see Rob. I was unaware that he had a book out.
Yeah, well, they talked about that last night. And
what's the book called? Can you recall?
I really can't remember. And
well, listen, seriously, if I contact his people,
yes,
I would like to interview him, but I don't want to interview him like a straight interview.
Oh.
No, you'd have to
came
teach
across
him.
a bit of crack.
Oh, no, I like him. But you see, the worst thing about that, when you see people on TV, now I've learned this the hard way. Mm-hmm. You look at people on television, you say, oh, I like him, he's really good. I'd love to meet him. And then you meet him and he's very hateful. Sometimes, the personality they give off on television is not what they are. I mean, I have to say that I've been disappointed on a number of occasions, and sometimes the more you admire the person, the more hateful they are.
He said about these impersonations, he said he only impersonates people he likes.
Well, you see, this is good.
It's
You
true.
see, I want you to come
Yes.
down, and when I talk to him, then you,
He said he only
you
likes
come
you
in.
because you said you really get into the character. If you like the person, you like being that person, and you want to be that person.
Well, are you prepared to do this?
Of course.
Are you prepared to do
It's
this?
a
I mean,
great
this
honour
is
to talk to him.
This is a big hitter here.
This is a big, great honour. I'd be very nervous.
But you have to take chances here.
Yes, you do.
I mean, if I say to you, do somebody, and you
You
say,
have to do
no,
it.
I'm not going to, you have to do it.
You have to do it, of course.
You have to go for it.
Yes. That's
Okay,
all
he
right.
mightn't do it, but I'll ask him anyway.
But
My people will talk to his people.
Yeah, Mark Lawson asked him about the book, you see, and he said there wasn't a lot of, trauma in the book. There wasn't a lot of, he didn't give himself, he didn't reveal a lot about himself. And
I must send him my book.
And he says, I'm now in my second marriage. I said, I could have talked about my first marriage, but bear in mind, I have 3 children.
Absolutely.
He said, I have 3 children that I must protect. I'm not going to write on a book about my marriage breakup, where it went wrong, who was at fault, No, basically that's what he was saying. I'm not going to put it in print.
I
about a marriage
can
breakup.
understand that
And
because
three-
I wrote
and
books.
three children reading it.
I know. I wrote books, and I have skeletons in my closet. I'm not going to write them.
No, that's what he
Not gonna
said. I liked him for that, though, because he was protecting his wife. And
None of
his
this.
3
None of
children.
this Kerry Katona.
Who cares about that? That's personal.
Exactly. Well, will I do that?
You shall.
I'll ask him if he'll come in
You
some
shall.
Friday and you come down. You'll have to get the bus, though.
Why?
Well, unless you're going to walk to Belfast.
Yeah, I'll get the bus.
Get the bus, and you'll have to stay
How's
over.
he getting there?
He might get a taxi. He's got money. You might have to stay over and invest some money. I'll have a whip round the old people's home to get you a hotel. No, I mean, he mightn't do it. I mean, I
He
wouldn't
will
blame
do
him.
it,
No, but
'cause
see,
he likes
I
TV
won't blame him
or
if he
radio.
doesn't do it, because performing every night, sometimes people don't like to be on the radio in the morning. Sometimes they like to lie on the dinner time. So I would not be surprised if he doesn't do it. And if he doesn't do it, I won't be.
But why don't you do it sooner rather than later? So there's a possibility that he say if he's invited onto the program, which you're going to do, he may say, I must listen to this guy, see what it's all about.
I'll invite him. I'll do it tomorrow.
He may listen in.
I'll do it
And then
tomorrow.
they say, I'm not going near that guy. Or I would like to be.
I'll do it today, or I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it before the weekend.
Emma
okay?
said there's a wee call.
Yes, there.
I'm sweating.
Janet says I've got an angry head.
Yes. I must tell Emma this. Janet wanted me to inspect his scalp this morning. She
Apparently
said,
I've
"Look at
got
his
some
scalp."
kind of-
She said your scalp's very angry. Very red. So you know exactly what Janet meant.
Well,
And
things
she
have
said
happened
to
to
me,
my
go over and have a
scalp.
look at his scalp. And I said, no. This was
thing-
in the kitchen over a cup of tea.
No, but
Telling me
things,
to look at his
you
scalp.
don't know what's happened to my scalp over the weekend. You know, it's very angry. I was insulted on a number of occasions. I just right. Hello, good morning. I'm
Hello,
sorry.
Gerry.
I'm sorry. That sounded too aggressive there. Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
What can we do for you today? We haven't started the program yet, so you're on the program before it starts.
No worries.
But you're on the air, even though we've been on the air for 20 minutes, but the program hasn't started yet. So feel free to say whatever you like.
No, we're just warming up. Basically, enjoyed Early Patterson the other day, Friday night, and enjoyed your company. We managed to get ourselves a table beside a couple of other people who didn't buy us drink, but just to say that the concert was fantastic, and you were good company yourself.
Was I talking to you?
Oh, yes.
Were you the gentleman I was sitting talking to?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I was very
well,
impressed
yes, of
whenever
course.
you put your hand in your wallet as well. That near knocked me off my seat.
Do you witness this?
Yes.
I want you to say now.
Right.
I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Did I buy you a drink?
You did indeed. And
Yeah, you hear that?
To dispel the rumours.
Now, wait a minute now. Well, who are we talking to here now? Wait a minute now. Stall the wedding. Paul. Paul.
Right, yes.
Paul. Right, right. You're then you sit down and stand. Who bought
Be
the
careful, there may be trick questions
No,
here.
there will not. Who bought the first round, Paul?
Well, whenever I met a celebrity, I bought the first round, but in fairness,
Yes.
champagne was flowing and managed to get his
No, right,
hand
right.
in his
You-
wallet
you
throughout the
bought
night.
the
He's
first
trying to
round.
catch you, Paul. Be careful.
You bought the first round. Is
Say
that
yes.
right, Paul?
Say yes, Paul.
I did indeed. Yes.
What did it consist of? Yeah, but you just you and
the
Gerry.
finest-
Forget about the company.
The finest bottle of wine for Mr. Anderson and the finest pint for myself.
A bottle of wine you bought him?
Small bottle.
A small bottle of wine.
A small bottle, right now.
He's trying to catch you, he's trying to catch
no,
you.
No. And the next round, who bought that?
You did.
Who bought the next round, Paul?
He did.
You see, I don't want to.
No, come on, Paul. Who bought
You're dispelling his generosity.
Tell him the
Who
truth,
bought
Paul.
the
Don't be
next
afraid of
round?
him. Tell him the truth. Don't be afraid of him.
You
Tell
bought
him
the next
truth.
round, Paul.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Paul.
So
It was
it's
a
two
terrific,
rounds.
thanks.
It's 2 rounds you've bought now, Paul. Who
Yes.
bought the third?
Well, you see, this is it. This is where he impressed me because he actually bought me a double round.
There!
What do you mean he bought you a double? He bought you 2 pints.
No, I was on the old Sun Comfort bet stage, so he bought me a double Sun Comfort. So I was impressed by the man.
What have you got to say
Right,
to that?
okay. Right, okay.
You see, that's blowing the wind out of your
Right,
sails.
and was that the end of the drinking?
He's not giving up, Paul.
No, was that the end of the drinking?
Yes, it was.
That's all I can remember.
That's all you can remember. You see?
See the way he tries to catch you?
That's all I remember. No further questions.
You see, you failed there.
No further questions.
No, you failed there.
No.
Hand over to the prosecution.
All right, go on then.
Okay,
You're a witness.
I submit that you...
No, ask Paul.
I
Forget
sub- no,
about
I sub-
me.
I
I'm
submit.
not on trial. You can't question me.
I submit that you attacked that man when he came on and that you had made up your mind before you got the facts.
Objection, Your Honour. Objection.
Where is he? Where's your honour?
Objection.
There is no your honour.
Yes.
I
Janice?
submit that you
No. Objection.
sat upon that man.
Objection.
Overruled.
No, you can't overrule me.
Well, I'm not sustaining it either, so
Ah,
shut up.
Objection sustained.
Paul, I'm sorry you had to listen to this. This is nothing what you... What do you want to talk to me about? Do you enjoy the thing?
Just
did you?
that since then I've been listening to her album. It's fantastic.
Isn't
Elliot
it great?
Patterson, and I got Lee Holland's EP, and I know you're raving about him about a producer, but his EP is actually very good as well.
It's very good. Eileen Patterson's album is called This Is Now. Well, Paul, I enjoyed your company. I'm sorry you had to be grilled by lesser beings today. So thank you very much for calling, and nice to talk to you. Okay?
No worries. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. That's a very nice man. You see, I don't know why you're such a bull terrier. You're just determined to prove that I'm a skinflint, and you're not going to rest until you...
I won't.
I know, but that's because you know you're right.
I know.
Just wanted to bring to the attention of yourself and your fine listeners, says Terence, the fact that today marks the centenary of the birth of Brian O'Nolan. Give me another name for Brian O'Nolan.
Don't know.
Miles Nagopoline.
Straban?
Indeed. Straban. Although later... What seems to be the trouble?
I never said a word.
Did you know he was born in Straban?
I wonder why I said Straban.
Now, don't be cheeky.
No, but
now.
why,
I'm just sorry.
Why should I say Straban?
Because did I not say Straban before?
No, it's
I'm
Straban,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Although later lost to the... Don't be so sensitive.
I'm not being sensitive.
Just because you can't prove I'm a skinflint doesn't mean to say that you have to attack me. Although later lost to the foreign shores of Dublin, it must have been those formative years in that Tyrone town which imbued him with his unique world view. Well, I would go along with that because I've often talked this programme about Straban's very unique. Not very unique. There's no such thing as being very unique. It's a unique place. I worked there for a couple of years and wonderful people. Very funny. And nobody working, which is great. Plenty of time to hone their craft. For example, where else could one come up with such high thoughts as the atomic theory? Did you hear about this? That holds that if enough close contact occurs between two objects, then the atoms of one object will impregnate the atoms of the other and vice versa, causing a explosion. Following on, Tyronologically, from this, is that a person cycling many miles every day will get his personality mixed up with the bicycle, which explains why so many old fellas stand at rest with a foot on the curb or elbow on the wall for necessary support, and how in the old days it was common to find a bicycle in the house near enough to hear the family's conservation and not a million miles from where they keep the edibles. In other words, the bicycle becomes part of the man. Part bicycle, part man. Next year there will be celebrations of a fine hulk of iron that is currently engaging with its own atomic interchange with the Atlantic seabed, otherwise known as the Titanic. But today let us remember Brian O'Nolan and his many personas, indeed also Flann O'Brien, Miles Nagopoline, Brother Barnabas, who far from sinking on his maiden voyage, gave a contribution to the literary canon of both Irish and English which will endure centuries from now. What was his column called? The Crushkeen Lawn in the Irish Times. And let us doff our hats to Straban, a dark horse of a town that often keeps its powder dry, but when it produces genius, it does not do it by halves. That's true. Paul Brady, eat your heart out.
I always thought Paul Brady was Cyan Mills.
No, he's sighing heavily. I always buy drink. Always.
Yeah.
Except when you're there.
Yeah.
Because you don't deserve it.
late on this dark highway. We've run it together so many times. We're running for money, we're running for music. We're running to pay for our innocent crimes. I took on my father and I'm still walking. Took on all comers in some shape or form. And I see with the eyes of something wounded. There's something still standing after the storm. Yeah. Hell's won the glory and survival. And staying alive, it's a running man's Bible, yeah. I've been next in line, I've been next to nothing. Been next to bystanders who should have said something. It was not in my vision, it was not in my mind to return from a mission a man left behind. Yeah. Hell's won the glory and survival. Yeah. And staying alive, it's a running man's Bible, yeah. Look out. I don't speak of the times I've nearly died. I don't speak of outlasting those who are gone. All the things I've done I care not to remember, or the desperate measures that might have been wrong. Honey, here's one to glory, here's to bad weather. And all the hard things we've been through together. Here's to the golden rule and survival. And to staying alive, it's a running man's Bible. Hell's won the glory and survival. And staying alive, it's a running man's Bible, yeah. Oh. Well, it's a running man's Bible. It's a running man's Bible.
That's Tom Petty, of course. That's a song called Running Man's Bible. I've got an echo in my head. Whoever's...
Have you? Yes, well, Emma pointed out that your levels dropped dramatically there.
Somebody does something in Belfast
about
whenever
40 seconds
coming up to
ago.
11 o'clock, they just turn everything down as if it's too loud and they don't like it. Anyway, here's the news now. I'm going to turn everything back up after the news.
On 92 to 95 FM,
And 1341 medium wave.
this is BBC Radio Ulster.
And at the news desk at 11 o'clock. Good morning, this is Keith Burnside. The First Minister Peter Robinson says today's strike by workers in the health and education sectors is futile. Members of Unison are taking part in a 24-hour protest against budget cuts. Ray Rafferty from the union insists the public are behind the strike.
The public are well aware of the cuts and the dangers that these cuts mean to them, their families, their children, their elderly relatives. There is massive public support, letters, phone calls, and the general public stopping us saying that they totally support us and they will join us today. It's absolutely been amazing.
15 new jobs in digital media are to be created at a Belfast software company. Mediasmiths Forge has been set up by Mediasmiths. Invest Northern Ireland has contributed £75,000 to the project. An Orange Hall in Ballymoney has been damaged after a petrol bomb attack. It happened at the premises on the Bravallen Road. Police have taken a number of items from the scene for forensic examination. Officials say the UK economy is even more sluggish than they thought because of a drop in consumer spending and industrial output. The Office for National Statistics has halved its estimate for growth between April and June to 0.1%. Here's Simon Gompertz of the BBC's business staff.
Today's revised figures show that the UK went through a sharper and steeper recession than previously thought, and that after a subdued start to the recovery, the last 9 months taken as a whole have seen the economy at a virtual standstill. Although manufacturing and service businesses like hotels, restaurants and communications have done a bit better, agriculture and other industries have slipped back. A Treasury statement said that the economy was still growing and that the government would stick with its deficit reduction plan.
Police have arrested 2 members of staff at a care home in West Sussex on suspicion of ill treatment and neglect. The Orchard View home in Crawley is run by Southern Cross. Sport now, here's Nicky Gregg.
The Ireland rugby coach Declan Kidney says Wales have become more unpredictable as the two sides prepare for a quarter-final clash at the World Cup this weekend. Kidney's included Rory Best in his starting lineup for the match in Wellington, though there are still doubts that the Ulster hooker will be able to recover from a shoulder injury in time. Johnny Wilkinson looks set to start at out half for England's last 8 encounter against France. Former Formula One champion Jenson Button has signed what's been described as a new multi-year contract with McLaren, and UEFA has opened disciplinary proceedings against the Bulgarian Football Association following allegations of racist abuse by fans during England's Euro 2012 qualifier in Sofia last month.
Some dry spells are forecast with the weather details. Best.
It's wet and windy for many of us at the moment, with rain moving east. During the afternoon it'll turn drier from the west, but it'll be early evening by the time the rain clears Antrim and down. Not a bad day in terms of temperatures though, with highs around 15 degrees. Some showers from the west this evening, and the winds will strengthen overnight as it turns colder, with lows of 7 degrees.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
The A5 Victoria Road near Mahra Mason in Londonderry has now been cleared following an earlier traffic collision. Grass cutting is being carried out on the A8 near Ballyclare until 3:30 today. As a result, the enclosures will be in place between Houston's roundabout and Coleman's Corner roundabout. And in Kilkeel, the Moyad Road is closed from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. each day until Friday week. A diversion is in place and delays of an hour can be expected. Michael Bedwell reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, why did our mother die? After Karen Walsh is found guilty of the brutal Christmas Day murder of 81-year-old Maura Rankin, her daughter Emily speaks to Talkback. Unison on strike. The First Minister says it's futile. 2,500 hospital procedures cancelled today. Do you agree with him? Aaron McCormick's mum was on Talkback yesterday. Her son wasn't on the honours list for Afghanistan. Jeffrey Donaldson backs her call for official recognition of his bravery. And it's the economy, stupid. That's what Clinton said. It's the executive's top goal. So why's Invest NI handing back a tenth of its multi-million-pound budget? Join the debate on Talkback at 12.
Thanks, Wendy. Why does Wendy always say speaking to Talkback? Why didn't you say so-and-so will be talking to Talkback? Did she feel as that doesn't sound right? Talking to Talkback? I think it sounds better. Speaking to Talkback.
I never heard that.
You see, talking to Talkback. Listen, do you remember sometime... sorry, there was an item there in the news about the Irish rugby team, and we all wish them well. And I have to say, do you remember we had a competition to name the new coach in case anything, and we hope nothing happens, to Declan Kidney? Do you remember we had a competition and the new coach, the only stipulation was that his forename had to have a Gaelic origin, such as Declan, and his surname had to represent a human bodily organ, like a kidney. We never announced the winner of that, did we?
No.
Because, well, the winner was Pontius Pancreas.
I think you should go to music.
Please tell me who was the girl singing yesterday about the war, Belgium and Flanders. That was Mary Dillon, actually. I'm going to play a track from Mary Dillon later on today. It was called John Condon. It's also sung equally well, I have to say, by Janet Dowd. What's the story with the St. George's nude calendar, kid? Are you going to do it or what? No, I'm not.
Are you not?
No. My body is deteriorating. I'm going to keep it to myself.
Here's a wishing well. Here's a penny for any thought it is that makes you smile. Every diamond dream, everything that brings love and happiness to your life.
Here's a rabbit's foot. Take it when you go, so you'll always know you're safe from harm. Wear your ruby shoes when you're far away, so you'll always stay home in your heart.
You'll always have a lucky star
It shines
because of what you are, even in the deepest dark,
because your aim is true.
and if I could only have one wish, darling, then it would be this: love and happiness for you. Here's a spinning wheel. Use it once you've learned. There's a way to turn the straw to gold. Here's a rosary. Count on every beat with a prayer to keep the hope you hold. some more.
I think of you all the time.
I still need to hear some more.
I'm making up my mind right now.
What you doing that for?
I'm dreaming. Will you be my superstar?
And drive a flashy sports car.
Will you be my everything?
And treat you like a real kid.
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming.
I'm dreaming of you. Oh my God, it's getting late. I forgot to feed my cat. Maybe I can stay a while. I'm dreaming. I just need some time to think. Will you be my everything?
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you.
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you.
I get all excited, love.
I'm dreaming of
I
you.
think of you all the time.
I'm dreaming of
I'm
you.
making up my mind right now.
I'm dreaming of you.
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you.
Right, that I think is a band called Feldberg, because I'm not entirely sure. Hold on a second, I'll look. Yes, they are. Feldberg is called Dreaming. It's from an album called Don't Be a Stranger. And the track before that is called, a track familiar to this programme called Love and Happiness, written by Kimmy Rhodes and Emmylou Harris, sung there by Emmylou Harris and Mark Knopfler, from an album called All the Road Running. Kimmy Rhodes, no stranger to this programme. She's appeared live a number of times, and she always sings that, and people are always desperate to get that. But she told me the other day that that is now available on her website, her version of it, Love and Happiness. I'm not quite sure what it is. All you have to do is Google Kimmy, KIMMIERHODES. Follow the links, and they will arrive at a point where you can download her version of Love and Happiness, which is a very rare track.
You can download whose version?
Kimmy Rhodes.
And Willie Nelson?
No. Willie Nelson. Oh, yeah, with Willie Nelson. Sorry, she recorded it with Willie Nelson. What I meant was that she sang it here on the programme on her own. Of course, Willie Nelson didn't appear with her on this programme.
Raymond Finnegan, the lorry driver, says thank you for playing that version. He prefers that.
Raymond Finnegan is in again.
That's what I thought too.
Indeed.
There was a wee man called Raymond Finnegan. He grew whiskers on his chin again. The wind came out and blew the minigan. Poor old Raymond Finnegan.
Finnegan's Wake.
Begin again.
Finnegan's Wake, James Joyce.
And
did you ever try and read that?
No.
Very difficult.
And I prefer Willie Nelson and
James Joyce
and Kimmy Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
Version of it.
Here, listen, do you ever look at Wikipedia?
Fred Clark. A big thank you to Fred from his wife Jean. Thanks for everything, she says. All right. No.
What?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Did you ever look at it?
From time to time. I can't say I haven't looked at it.
Do you know there was an entry in it about you, but it was erased, deleted recently? But this man rescued it.
What?
No, this is true, yeah. I'll read it. Background. Sean Coyle is a multi-award-winning and much sought-after veteran radio broadcaster and celebrity from Derry, Stoke, London. No, this is true. This is genuine. I'm not making this up. No, people, you can write whatever you want on Wikipedia. You know that, don't you? Yeah.
No.
Some people work out on it. I mean, if I go on to Wikipedia and I go to my Wikipedia entry, I can change it.
Apparently, I had a Facebook.
Well, that's a different thing. His career, broadcasting.
No, I mean, a person was pretending to be me.
Oh, I know that. I know all about that. That was me. No, I know about that. That can happen. His career, which has spread over 3 decades. His communion money, which has been spread over 3 decades.
Well, you like that, don't you?
During which time he rose to become the most popular face on BBC Radio Ulster. You see, that's a little jab there. In a recent interview with Gay Byrne, Coyle tearfully recalled how Anderson repeatedly held back his succession within the corridors of Foyle Radio. Gerry was popular, but sniff. I always felt it was his envy of me, take tissue to right eye, that bore through when it came to activities in the radio. He was constantly at the management making claims of my theft of stationery. Well, this is true. You've stolen an awful lot of envelopes. I had to bring it to the attention of the people on the 6th floor. He even claimed that I put a computer monitor down my jumper and walked out pretending to be pregnant.
All right.
Coyle presents the biggest show in the country with hundreds of thousands of listeners in his 3 p.m. slot. Of course, that's true. A similar claim, that shows you how recent that was, because you didn't do a 3 p.m. slot. When did you start your 3 p.m. slot?
A year ago.
Just to get away from Hugo. A year ago. Is that long?
It is indeed.
My, how the time flies. A similar claim that fellow host Stephen Nolan falsely holds on to. Nolan and Coyle's relations have soured in recent years over the claims and came to a head one night after a bitter on-air row on Radio 5 witnessed by the entire nation. Following requests to run for Parliament and the Irish presidency, Coyle says no and has appeared to settle into a joint role with Anderson in the morning slot. Whilst the two seem to have put the past behind them, it remains to be seen how long this will last. You know, I regret it now not running for the presidency.
There's a man on one.
7 years, that would do me. You know, and you get free grub. Were you ever in Ars Nocturna?
I wasn't.
You were indeed. Oh, you were?
No, I wasn't.
Were you not?
No.
Well, did you not tell me you were?
I did not tell you I was.
I don't recall going to Ars.
I certainly don't remember if I was there.
If I have been in Ars Nocturna, I certainly
don't remember the president.
She's coming to the President of Ireland, Mary McAleese. She's coming to Derry, Stoke, London, I think, tomorrow.
Yes.
She's going up to visit David Latimer.
Yes.
In is Christchurch, the First Presbyterian Church?
First Presbyterian.
That'll be nice.
I'm going.
What?
I'm going. I've been invited.
You've been invited? By whom?
By Reverend David.
Why did he not invite me?
I don't know.
I wonder why. Because after all, the President's a friend of mine. We've spoken on a number of occasions. Obviously, David is not aware of that.
So I spotted David a long time ago.
You asked him if he could go, didn't you?
No. I made a program with David many years ago on Radio 4.
I don't recall that program.
It was called 3 Wishes. There's a little series I used to do, and I got people in and I asked them, if you were granted 3 wishes, what would they be? And you talk, and and if necessary, just a little half-hour program, and people just fantasize.
You stretched that over 3 hours?
No, a half-hour program.
Oh, sorry, you stretched 3 wishes.
3 wishes.
You stretched that out over half an hour.
Half an hour.
Must have been hard to stretch that out.
It wasn't.
And David Latimer did that with you.
Mm-hmm. And can I tell you one of his wishes? Maybe I shouldn't. But it was on radio.
No, it's entirely up to you.
It's nothing.
It's on the radio, for God's sake.
Nothing
it's not a
major.
secret.
Nothing major. But you wouldn't think of David Latimer.
What do you want? A cowboy suit?
No. What his music?
Yeah.
He's a rock band man. Really? He plays guitar. And he would love, the likes of, the likes of Status Quo or something like that. He said he would love to get up on stage and just play some good, hard rock and roll.
Well, you see, I go along with that because Status Quo has always been one of my favourite bands, and people poo-pooed and laughed at me when I've always said that.
So
I said to him, does you like that kind of straight, hard, in-your-face rock and roll?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I said to him, maybe I could arrange it for you to play with the Undertones. Would you like that? Just the other day when we were talking.
They wouldn't like that, they're past their sell-by.
I know they're old now, I know, but it's...
Many of them are grey.
Yeah.
But what can you do about that? No, he's an old-style man. He wouldn't be look at those young fellas. He's status quo he wants. So you're going.
Well, what about you?
What about me? Well, I'm not going tomorrow. I have.
No, what about you playing in the band? I could form a little band with you and
with your trombone.
You and David. No, you and David, and one or two others, and maybe 3 numbers somewhere. Little special act.
Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just thought about it.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Gerry.
How are you?
Very well, Gerry. My name's Eugene Floyd. I'm calling you from Omagh in County Tyrone.
Yes, Eugene.
Before the news, you were talking about the writer Brian O'Nolan.
Yes.
Also known as Flann O'Brien in Miles na Gopaleen.
Yes.
People in Omagh tonight can see a performance of one of his writings. It is a one-act play called Thirst, which is a study of after-hours drinking in an Irish pub. And we will stage it and have already staged it in pubs in Omagh.
How did it go down?
It went down. We have had 3 performances so far, one in the Vault Bar, one in Bogan's Bar, and one in last evening in Broderick's Bar in Georgia Street. Highly successful, Gerry.
Would you get a full house there? I mean, I know.
Full on the 3 occasions, Gerry, full houses.
Well, you would go to that.
Admission is free to the performance, and tonight they can see the performance in The Way In, W-E-I-G-H, The Way In, Kevlin Road, Omagh.
Yes.
The performance starts at 8 p.m. and will be finished about 8:30.
Well, who does it? I mean, is it a monologue?
No. A group of us come together and we've called ourselves the Porterhouse Players.
Right.
And where we were working, Gerry, we were working on a 0 budget. And I thought to myself, this is my first stab at directing a piece. And I thought to myself, we should take it out to the punters and the pubs, and it has worked extremely well.
All right, so that's in the. So you're all amateurs, of course.
Oh, totally amateurs. Yes. Now I'll say, I'll mention the actors. We have a man, a veteran of the stage here in Omagh, Ronnie Moran.
Yes.
He was with the Omagh Players for years. 2 young up-and-coming actors, Liam McBride and Vivian Brady.
Yes.
And I play the part myself of the Garda sergeant.
Oh, you've got a good voice for a sergeant.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask you this? Have you been involved in amateur dramatics in the past?
Since 1980, Gerry, my first appearance was in a show called The Passing Day.
Yeah.
That was 1981. And in my day, I have played Dame in pantomime. And the biggest moment in the amateur stage, I played Scrooge in a musical production of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens.
Did you enjoy that?
I enjoyed it immensely, Gerry.
Well, that's
immensely.
Great, yeah.
A lady friend of mine's, on hearing that I got the part of Scrooge, says she'll not need much practice, Eugene.
yeah. Well,
which I might say is not right, Gerry.
Of course not. Of course
not at all.
Well, listen, that's in The Way In. When is it again?
Tonight
at 8 o'clock.
p.m.
And no shackles required at the door.
No, people come in, say 7:30, 8:15, buy enough drink that will last them for a half an hour and go and sit down in the lounge area.
So the bar closes. The bar closes for that half hour, of course.
It does, yes.
That's right. Yeah, you can't have people going up board and drink and shouting.
No,
Peter. All right,
but
then.
It's worked, as I say, so far, full houses, and people. People in Broderick's, some people in Broderick's last night have seen the show, the 3 performances, and they're coming back tonight again to have the 4th one.
They're following you all around. Excellent.
And it's excellent, and I'm so glad that it has went well, and that I'll also be then when this is finished. I'll also. I'm on the lookout for more of Flann O'Brien stuff. I'm particularly interested in a monologue called The Brother. I think he wrote that as well.
So why don't you adapt it yourself?
I might do, Gerry.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
Well,
I was
stop
thinking
it.
about that. I remember a guy, Eamon Morrissey, done it some years ago.
That's right, yeah, well-known actor.
Yeah.
All right, then, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You've got a great voice, by the way.
Just before
Could I say, Gerry, just before I go, I was on your programme once before, and Sean Coyle said the same thing. You had a great voice for radio.
Well, you have. He's cooing in there.
Yes,
What are you cooing for?
could we just find out what the play's about?
Oh, I don't want to, Sean, I don't want to give away too much. I'll leave it that it is a study of after-hours drinking in an Irish pub.
Did you not hear him saying that?
Yeah, but I want to know: is it men sitting around saying, "Wooly, will you sing a song?" Or is it a knees up, or what is it? Or is it storytelling? Well,
knees up.
Well, I just want to know what goes on. Right, in your opinion, Mr. Anderson, what been done in the bars after hours when you were drinking, when they closed the door, and when you were in show bands and getting a lit drink? What been done in bars when you were there?
A bit of a sing-song,
yes,
of course.
exactly.
But at the same time, if you go to certain bars, the men would talk.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I'm asking.
So it's men sitting around
does a debate
talking.
break out? Is it a discussion? What is it?
Sean.
Yes.
Men sit round and talk, but they want to achieve a certain goal, if you know what I mean, and I can't say no more than that. They're trying to reach a certain point in the conversation, and I can't say no more than that.
I hope you're not so cheeky with the President of Ireland tomorrow as you are with us.
No, I just want to know: Are you during this conversation? Would you be interrupted in any way?
Well, he might be interrupted at a point.
Now, are you?
When the man would say,
"Are
what?
you, Eugene?"
No. All I can say to you is, at the stage in the performance, the Garda sergeant enters the
You
premises.
see, so you're caught drinking after hours.
Well, I play the part of the sergeant, so I catch them.
Oh, well, yeah, that was a great deduction, that, Sean. Well done.
That's good. That's good, isn't
well
it?
done. And boys drinking after hours, I play the part of the Garda sergeant.
That's what it's all about.
Well
But so
done.
the guard sergeant could have been sitting in the company.
Well, so don't you know it would be impossible almost for a man to sit in a pub and the guard sergeant to come in and not be a whole row. Unless the guard sergeant had prearranged to have a few pints earlier on, that they do in many, many, many pubs in the south of Ireland. Now the bar comes in and just gives us a pint there and don't be a word about it. So you must know about that.
I told you the story about the time we went to Killybegs.
Yes.
Me and a couple of mates.
Yes.
And the barman started to pull the blinds down in the bar, and he locked the door.
Mm-hmm.
And called last orders, or give every indication
last orders
that it was last. So I went up and I got a couple of pints, and somebody else got a couple. And we were saying we had this table full of drink, and we were sitting there, and we were trying to get this wuffet down our neck. You see, before the guards would come and knock on the door. And then after about an hour,
the band came in.
After about an hour, the guy opened up the curtains and opened up the doors, and we says, "What's going on?" He says, "A fisherman's license. We only can stay open for 23 hours.
Bring out the hard-boiled eggs and the onions."
And we're us sitting with a table full of drink. So that's why I was curious to know what went on after hours in this pub that Eugene's talking about.
It's a wonderful place.
That sounds good, Eugene. Sounds a bit of crack.
Thank you very much, Eugene. Good luck now. 8 o'clock on the way in.
And the way in.
That's an Oma.
Yes, at
Right.
8 p.m.
Right
now,
there.
He wants to say something.
Of course he
Could
does.
I say to Sean, I was on your programme some time ago, and again you told me I had a great voice for radio.
Right.
Yes.
Any chance of employment with the BBC?
Well, the only thing we can say is this applies to musicians, this applies to bands, this applies to everyone else in all branches of in entertainment. You're better off on the radio. You're better on the radio than off it, because you don't know who's listening. And we could well get a call after this program saying, "See, that fella was on there. What's his phone number?" And that's the way it works. I remember talking to a band one time, and I asked them to come into the studio, and they said, "Sure, what's the point?" He said, "There's only be people listening in Resharkin." Apologies to the people of Resharkin. And I told him, but he didn't realise. I said, "Right, imagine a scene. You're a big record producer, right? You're attending the MTV Awards on November the 6th in the wherever it is in Belfast. And somebody says, why don't you just go over and check it out?" So you get on a plane, and you're one of the biggest record producers in the world. You just want to go over and see the facilities. And you get on a plane, you arrive in Belfast International Airport, and you get a taxi, right? You get in the taxi drivers listen to this program, and that's where he hears your band. You see, never forget that. Never forget that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Gerry.
Bye.
Kathleen's on too.
Bye.
Kathleen's on too.
Did you get it as well?
Oh, yes. I'm at risk. No, everybody must get the flu jab, which that's not bad. There's no way you can stop getting the cold.
Well, this was molasses and cider vinegar and honey. But it's the quantities, and you add it hot water, but it's the quantities that I can't remember.
Well, maybe somebody out there would be able to enlighten
So you
us.
don't remember yourself?
Whenever I hear stuff like that, my eyes glaze over. And Sean Coyle writes down stuff and then throws it in the bin. That's the way we operate here.
Well, maybe...
If anybody would call in and let us know the quantities, we'll let you know.
Yeah, well, that would be great. I listen on the radio to hear anyway if somebody...
Please do.
Will know.
Please do.
Okay, Gerry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Riveting call, Sean. Thanks for that. What's wrong with this
No,
thing?
you see, that was your fault. That was your fault. You could have asked Kathleen one or two questions there.
About molasses?
Probing questions.
About the cold?
You could have asked her.
Until my shoes wore down, just to have you around. 'Cause you laugh when I'm angry. I'm constantly thinking of ways we could sink into each other's arms. What am I gonna do? 'Cause it's all about you. What am I gonna say? 'Cause it's all about you. Kids don't behave like this. 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 I'd run till my shoes wore down, just to have you around. 'Cause you laugh when I'm angry. I'm constantly thinking of ways we could sink into each other's arms. What am I gonna do? 'Cause it's all about you. And what am I gonna say? 'Cause it's all about you. Kids don't behave like this. 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 Cats 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 don't behave like this.
A singer with lungs to envy. That's a Plastic Rose. That's a song called Kids Don't Behave Like This. I like that. Great band. Great show the other day, kid. All the guys and gals at St. Dimpness Home for the Chronically Nonchalant, they all muttered, "Way to go, dude." Tommy, my cat, sat in front of the fire reading the Ulster edition of the Belfast Telegraph. "Hey," yelled Tommy, "listen to this." "This," said Tommy, "is a direct quote from Peter Robinson, delivering a strong, independent voice. And this is a direct quote from Deputy Acting First Minister John O'Dowd, a strong voice to champion causes." I crawled onto the sofa and screamed, "Don't read any more, Tommy. You're scaring me. What calamitous misfortune do your oblique words foretell?" Tommy sprang out into the middle of the room like a hairy, demented ballet dancer and said, "After much old codger lobbying, Stormont has capitulated and employed a commissioner for the elderly. Please tell me it's not Geordie Tuft." "The first commissioner for the elderly," yelled Tommy, "is Claire Keating. I don't know her, but I'm assured she's a fine, upstanding woman with principles as high as an elephant's eye and wears sensible flat shoes. Imagine if old Geordie had been made commissioner," I said. "Every Derby and Joan club would have its own dung spreader. Old codgers would be encouraged to go on the tear, and free cooking sherry would be provided for over 65s. People would be sticking telegraph poles in their fire and calling the ambulance. There'd be animals slaughtered right, left and centre, Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs." Tim looked lovingly at Orville, his clockwork mouse, and said, "Old Geordie was in the running for commissioner, but he's blew his chances when he made a drunken, spluttering grope at Nigel Dodds in the mistaken belief it was Katrina Rianne. 'You're a nice wee dolt,' slurred Geordie as he hung like a limpet to poor Nigel's tie. 'Fouled his nest again,' I mused. A good job was in his grasp. Geordie goes and manhandles the man who was a stand-in for Frost and Nixon. 'Representable,' muttered Tommy. 'Totally and thoroughly representable.' Then Wendy diverted our attention with a yell of, 'Prince Charles, Camilla and Bobby Davro to appear on platform with Martin McGuinness. What do you think? Talk to talkback. Talk to talkback. Nay, nay. Hello, good morning. I'm losing my mind. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Geordie, I'm losing my mind. How are you?
We're down this morning out of Paddle.
Indeed, and I am glad to be there.
Huh?
How are you today?
Well, still hanging by a thread.
Yes, hanging on by your fingertips. It's
Aye.
important to maintain.
And there's money to burn.
Money? Where's the money?
Powers to be, the council has now allocated £35,000 to Belfast for plastic cows.
Indeed. You should get
and
it. Yes?
Stroke City is getting £35,000 of plastic cows.
You should
so
get
that's
it.
70,000 altogether.
And we've got. Have you seen? We've got a toil railway. We've got a toil railway. Have you seen that?
No.
That's instead of a real one.
We've got a question for Geordie. A couple of questions.
You want to
by
get
the way.
in that market, Geordie? You're a man who knows his cows. You should get in there and get some kind of a stake. You're a stakeholder there.
Geordie, there's a lady with a bat in her roof space. She wants to know what's the best way of catching it or getting it out of her roof space. A bat.
So why does this always? Why does every 3 weeks do we get this? You never tire.
Okay, right, Geordie. Right, he says
you have to phone the Bat Society for their protected
the Bat Society.
species.
The Batman.
Yes, you see.
Yeah.
And you have to get the council out, don't you?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
We always say that. You say it every 4 weeks. We never
But
tire
they're
of it.
protected, Gerry.
They're protected.
I know they're protected.
Well, what?
Many times must you tell me that bats are protected? I know they're protected. Why do you insist?
It's
always.
It's the lady. It's the lady who went to the trouble of texting your program for help.
Here's an idea.
She asked you for help, you and Jordan. Here's a lady, Maureen from Craigavon. She says she's got red berries on a holly bush for the past 2 or 3 months. Can you please ask Geordie, why is this?
Okay.
There's another question.
We'll get to that in a moment.
We have another question now on the telephone for Geordie.
Hold on a second.
Just because your old scalp's angry.
It's because I have an angry head doesn't mean to say, no, listen, I want to advise
Old
you.
roaring Meg.
Don't call me roaring Meg.
That's what you are, old roaring head.
I'm going to ask you one thing. Why can't you do this? Every once in a while, possibly every 2 weeks, somebody rings up and tells us there's a bat.
No, they do not.
In their belfry. Right. Why don't you say the next person that rings up, listen, by the way, we have many requests.
This is a text message. I can't reply to the text message.
Well, you could say, well, many people ring us about this. In my past experience, we've discovered that bats are protected. Why do you have to make me say it all the time?
We're not asking you.
You always throw it into me.
No, that was for Geordie. That was a question
but
for
I'm
Geordie.
here too.
No, these people have gone to the trouble of texting, of phoning, and now someone's on the line who wants to talk to Geordie. It's not about you. They're phoning Geordie.
Tell me about your dingleberries or whatever you call them.
No, the lady's got red berries on a holly bush for the past 2 or 3 months. Could you please ask Geordie, does he know why this is? Why is there berries on the bush?
Because Mother Nature has decided that there shall be red berries on her bush. That's the way things are. Geordie, why is there red berries in her bush?
Because, Gerry, it's on its own. It needs a wee mate.
The bush needs a mate?
It's on its own.
There you are.
And it's putting out as, like, preen, itself and say, maybe I'll get a mate here.
It's saying help. It's like a man wearing a wig.
That's right.
Yeah, looking for attention.
Well, that's what it is.
It's like Omo. You know that story you tell off.
My wee rusty hobo.
No, Geordie, no. It's another thing entirely. What was the other query? On the phone, did you say?
No, wait a minute. The line dropped out. Hold on.
It dropped out.
Eh?
The line dropped out.
The stoat? What about the stoat? Yes. Oh, Rodney wanted to ask Geordie about the stoat.
Why don't you just give him Rodney's number?
No, you see, that's you all over. Why don't you go away and just have a good rub at your head?
Stop it. We had a lot of stoat talk yesterday. Didn't we get enough stoat talk yesterday? Why have to bring it up, drag it up again?
Because Rodney, is that Rodney, Emma? Rodney wants to talk to Geordie. He got no satisfaction whatsoever from you.
Is he there now?
Because you're in one of your own moods.
I'm not in one of my moods. I just don't realise why. You know what the BB said? Delivering quality first. Well, delivering repetition first.
She's away.
The other person.
See, hung up, you see.
Yeah,
we're trying. That's you, because people are now afraid of you. People feel a friendly voice with Geordie, and they feel as though they can ask Geordie questions, and he helps them. You, old grumpy head.
Redhead.
Old redhead. What's wrong with you today?
There's nothing wrong with me
Yes,
today.
there is. There's something wrong with you.
I just don't see why you must
No,
always
because you were complaining the other day, and I'm not going to say what it was. Don't you worry now. Don't worry.
About that other thing?
You said to me you can't get a good...
Stop it.
Yeah, you understand?
Okay.
There's something trapped in you, and you can't... You know what
Stop
I'm talking
it.
about.
Stop it.
And you know.
Stop it.
That's what's wrong with you.
I know.
You've
it's all
trapped
right.
wind.
Stop it. It's not that.
That's probably what's making your head red.
Leave my head
You're
out
probably
of
on
it.
fire, and inside you're like a volcano about to erupt. That fart's going to come out through your head.
That'll be a first.
That's what's going to happen to you.
I've got an angry head.
You've got trapped wind.
My head might erupt. Anyway, Geordie.
Gerry, I've heard now, I don't know whether it's right or not.
Yes?
But I heard you got the flu injection.
Jeannie's on too, by the way, now at last. Could you talk to Jeannie?
Will you shut up a minute? I did indeed get the flu injection.
Well, Gerry, I wouldn't advise that.
Well, it seems
I don't get no flu injections, no tablets, no nothing.
But you're not like a normal person.
I'm like a rat. I'm immune to all known diseases.
You should leave your body to medical science. There's someone on the line here. Hello, good morning. Hello? Jeannie. Why didn't she speak?
She's
Hello.
Jeannie,
hello.
sorry, how about that? That's not just because it's Nuri doesn't mean that she can't speak. Nuri, sorry, Jeannie, you're through to Geordie.
Hello, Geordie.
Hello, lady.
Could you tell me, I have 12 hens here, and I'm wondering why they're laying outside the house. They won't lay in the house. They're laying the eggs outside.
Well, do you know why? You
Why?
haven't got a rooster.
Oh, have you got a rooster?
No.
Oh, you see.
Well, the heart lays a little longer.
Well, yeah, explain this.
Yes.
If a rooster's not present, why do the hens
are just doubled up? I'll drop an egg here and I'll
drop an egg there? Yeah, right. But what? I don't really understand why they do that. Are they flashing their eggs or what?
Yes, they're frustrated. They're frustrated, Gerry.
All right, that's right. I know that
They
feeling.
need a cock-a-doodle-doo.
Do they? I must try that in Bradbury Place on Saturday night. I'll go and lay an egg.
But you can't have a rooster inside that area.
So there you are, love. There's your problem right
They're
there.
frustrated.
The frustrated, yeah. Get yourself a rooster and watch those eggs go back in again.
They'll be happy then.
Yeah. There you are. Sorry, what's that lady's name?
That's Jeannie.
Jeannie. You probably didn't expect an answer like that. Jeannie?
But you can't have a rooster in the built-up area.
Well, what, you can have 12 hens?
Yeah,
Like you not have a
surely you
rooster?
can.
Put a gag on it.
I have 7 here, God.
But she's talking about a built-up area. Well, can you put a silencer on it?
No, I'm going to go cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah, but you see, if if the cockadoodles do in
It's
the
like
built up
a
area,
done- It's like a done course.
the wee men will be around with the notebooks, won't they?
Get them wee hands a rooster.
Well, I don't know. Well, there's the answer, but you see, the problem is that you've got 12 hens in a built up area. That's the problem. Are they laying them out in the middle of the road?
Jerry,
Right.
don't be too smart.
I'm sorry about being smart. I'm asking you, where do they lay? You see, where do they lay their eggs in the bushes and that kind of thing?
Correct, yes.
Okay, well, that's the answer apparently. So I don't know how you can deal with
when
that.
They get the rooster, they'll lay it out and then they'll clack.
Yes.
What did he say?
He said they
When
lay
you
a
get
lot
the
and then
rooster
they'll
and
clack.
go out, they lay a lot of eggs and then they'll sit down and they'll clack and then you'll have wee chickens.
Little chicks.
I don't want no more. I've got a 12.
But you see, if you have 12,
Then, what is them hens?
A year.
Yep.
1 year.
Now, well, they're young yet too, but they're full of the power, you know.
Yes. Well, see, there's your dilemma right there. Either there's no way you can stop that unless you get a bit of a rooster, and you can't get a rooster.
Stop more, need you?
No, you can't get a rooster because you're in a built-up area. So why don't you get a rooster and then see how it goes?
Yeah, and then the neighbours will get them put out. Not yet.
But they should be up anyway.
It's nice to hear rooster crowing.
A rooster crowing at the break of dawn.
When the dawn breaks up.
All right, then. There we go. Thank you very much, love.
Right.
Thank you. Not you, Jordy. Right. Thank you, love. Okay.
Jerry,
Yes, Jordy.
that old moisturising cream, it was white. Like a whitish cream.
Yes, I know. Is it called Angel or something like that?
I don't know.
Have you looked on the label?
But he got a go of it in the barber. Found the barber.
Did he give you a jar of it?
No, he says he wanted it, and I says I do not.
I think you should try it. At your age, anything might work.
Well, I use the rainwater.
You probably use it as a mixer.
No, I duck my head in the rain.
Well, you see, that's as good as anything. People, Indians have always said that rainwater's
and a bit of carbolic soup.
Indeed. All right, Jordy. Good man.
Okay, Jerry.
Good to talk to you.
Keep her going. Keep her lit till we get out. Bye.
Why does that always make me laugh? I don't know.
Our little army boy is coming home from BFBO. I have a bunch of purple flowers to decorate a mommy's hero. Morning in the aerodrome, the weather warmer, he is colder. 4 men in uniform to carry home my little soldier. Could he do? Should have been a rock star. But he didn't have the money for a guitar. He should have been a politician. But he never had a proper education. He should have been a father. But he never even made it to his 20s. What a waste. Army dreamers. Ooh, what a waste of army dreamers. Tears or a tin box, but Jesus Christ, he wasn't to know. Like a chicken with a fox, he couldn't win the war with ego. Give the kid the peck of peps and give him all your stripes and ribbons. Now he's sitting in a hole, he might as well have buttons and bows. Could he do? Should have been a rock star. But he didn't have the money for a guitar. He should have been a politician. But he never had a proper education. He should have been a father. But he never even made it to his 20s. Oh, what a waste. Army dreamers.
That's Mary Dillon, Kate Bush song, of course. She sings that better than Kate Bush, actually, I think. That was the same lady who sang John Compton yesterday. Some other messages. Would you please give this fundraiser for Somalia a gig? A good lineup of artists as well, singing for Somalia on Saturday, October the 22nd, Tulnaree, Carndonna, County Donegal. If you feel like going up there for the weekend, a special musical night in native Somalia. Proceeds in native of Concerns work in Somalia, featuring Inishowen Gospel Choir, the Henry Girls, Kate O'Callaghan, Paul Casey, Finbar Doherty, and all other kinds of people. Doors 9 o'clock. Tickets €8. And speaking of Paul Casey, you were playing a song by Paul Casey before you headed up on one of your many trips a couple of months ago. I haven't heard it since. It's called Big World. I played it a number of times since. It was really good. Any chance you can find it again? Oh yes, I'll probably play that tomorrow. And could you please play a birthday request for Davy Kerr from Kirkcudbright? He's looking for a big blonde. Yes. And a lady said, I contacted your show last week asking for sponsorship to cover the printing costs of a Calendar Boys 2012 calendar. I've been asked to strip for that. The answer is no. Featuring the market traders of St George's Market in Belfast. Proceeds going to Northern Ireland Children's Hospice. We're appealing again for businesses or individuals to donate £200 to sponsor any individual month. And there's a lot of information here. You can be contacted. There's a phone number here, 07927 432 717. That's too quick, I know. But there's an email address, Alice McGuinness, AliceMcGuinness, at hotmail.co.uk. So do that. I was mentioning yesterday I played a track, a cover by ABBA, and a lot of people contacted me and said, I can understand why people don't cover ABBA songs because they're unusual, lots of musical stuff there. And, well, look at that. I'm just reading all these wee messages.
I know, but tell me, if you don't mind me asking, please. And don't snap at me or don't...
I'm not going to snap at you.
Please. I'm curious. What about your concert?
Oh, the concert.
Can I ask about that? Because people are asking me outside, saying to me, "What? Tell us more about." And I say, I know nothing about it.
It's nearly organised completely, and I'm putting all the little things together. But I've got a date. It's November 20th. It's actually after the marathon, and it's a general fundraiser for Action Cancer. And Charlie Lansbury will be appearing, and various other people. And I will be announcing details of that next week, and all kinds of. It's definitely on. I'm looking forward to it tremendously.
Could you tell me where it is?
It's the City Hotel in Derry, Londonderry.
Right. And what night is it on?
It's a Sunday.
What night's the 20th? Did you say Sunday there?
Sunday there. It's November the 20th, which is a Sunday.
Sunday.
And what we're going to do is we're going to invite people who have never been to Stroke City before. We don't want just, no, we do want, of course, people from Derry, but we want people to come along. We want people to come along from other places. And we will make arrangements for them, and they can come to our city. We especially want people.
What do you mean you'll make arrangements?
I will explain it all next week. There will be all kinds of opportunities for people who've never. Don't forget, Derry City is going to be Londonderry, should I say, and Derry City will be City of Culture 2013. Will be the hub of attention, and there's many fine things to see in this city. So we're going to ask people to consider coming up for a day or two, and going to our concert as well, and they'll be well looked after. And you and I are going to show them all around the city. You didn't know about that.
What?
You and I are going to be guides.
Oh, no.
Do you not know about that?
No, I'm not going to be a guide.
Oh, don't say no like that.
Yeah, I will.
Anyway, I'll talk you into it.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will.
No, you will not.
Because look at the knowledge you have. You can show them where you used to throw the kitchen sinks on top of the army, And I'll show them all the places I was born, and you can show them where the soldier sausage, all that things like that, where, where your dog was killed, that kind of thing.
Seriously. People that.
No, seriously. There'll be more details. I won't be here on Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to have to do Jesus' work. So you'll be here on Monday and Tuesday morning. I'll be back on Wednesday, and I'll give all details on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday next week. And I sincerely hope that the people will come and support us, because it's a worthy cause, and I'm looking forward to it tremendously. Now, I have to explain to the people that, this marathon, you know the crack about that?
I don't.
Well, let me explain. No, it's on November the 6th in New York.
I know that.
I'm definitely doing it, but I'm not confident. Because
are you doing any training for it?
Well, you see, I've only started back again this week. I've lost 6 weeks of training.
So what did you do this week? What running?
No, don't be sarcastic.
No, I'm asking you.
I can tell by the tone of your voice.
What did you do?
Light training.
What? Like what?
No, what happens is after 6 weeks, if you lose 6 weeks, you're back to square one. Do you understand what I'm saying? I lost 6 weeks. I was advised not to run. because I had
Yes.
this virus. Now I'm back to light training again. So when it comes to the marathon, I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing, but I'm going to do as much of it as I can. As much of it as I can. Walking, running. I won't be in the best of condition, but I'm going to do it. Do you know why?
How do you opt out?
I'm not opting out.
So how do you get out of the course? You know when they have a course marked out.
You just melt away into the crowd.
But you'll never get your leg over a barrier.
I've had my leg over more formidable obstacles than that, I'll tell you. No, don't you worry about
You'll
that.
not be fit. You'll not be fit to climb over a barrier.
Well, I won't be fit, no.
How will they follow you in a car or anything?
You can't follow me in a car.
Well, how are we going to get you off the course?
I'll say goodbye to you, and then I'll ring you when I arrive somewhere. I'll ring you when I stop. We're doing a radio.
So I don't know where. I don't know America.
I know, but you knew.
How am I going to find you?
Don't worry, there'll be people with you who know where I am. Listen, we're doing a radio program. Our Monday morning on the Sunday of the marathon, November the 6th. Right, the next Monday, the Monday morning, the 7th, we'll be broadcasting live from New York at 10:30. It'll be 5:30 in New York. This means you have to sit up all night without drinking. Yeah.
What?
Did you not know that? Yeah, I'll be doing that.
I'm not going.
Well, you are.
I'm not going
Look
there.
at the sacrifice I'm going to make. I'm going to run a marathon, then I'm going to sit up all night without drink, and then get up and broadcast at 5:30 in the morning. Jesus would be proud of me. You're speechless. I'll put a record. We'll talk about this next week.
No, it would be nice to be consulted about these things.
You'll be told what to do. It's as simple as that.
But 5:30? What time you up at? If you're broadcasting at 5:30, what time you up at?
You don't go to bed at all.
I'm not going.
You are going.
No way I'm going. No.
BBC wants you to go. Seriously though, more details about that concert next week. It's going to be a good one. Charlie Lansbury is going to be appearing at it, and various very talented people. And me and him. And we invite people to come up and see our city and traverse our Peace Bridge. Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is?
Let's hear it. That's right.
This is the new singer of In Excess.
All right.
Joe Echo, who was on this programme 2 years ago. Who was the first to spot his talent? Come on. Come on.
Ralph McLean.
Incidentally, Ralph McLean, for the benefit of the 60s walking wounded. And no, I don't mean that in any bad way. He's got David Crosby and Graham Nash on.
Graham Nash, sure.
Graham Nash. He's got David Crosby and David Nash. Look, will you stop it? David Crosby and Graham Nash on the programme tonight. So that'll be worth a listen. We'll be back tomorrow morning at the same time. You mightn't be. You might resign.
I think I will.
Pussy. I don't know who's worse, you or Nolan. I'm the only one that's any red blood in him.
You have a red scalp.
An angry head. This head might explode. This head might explode before the day's out. I've got a rash. Nothing wrong with that. Stress rash.
A story that is yet untold. A treasure just like pirates.